it's Taryn. It's time for Sunday Reads. So this week, well, last week I didn't do a Sunday Reads because I was in the middle of flying. So over the last 2 weeks, I read 4 books. I read Illuminae by Amie, Kaufmann and Kristoff. I read Manners and Mutiny by Gail, Carriger, Solaris by Stanislaw Lem, and Altered Carbon by Richard Morgan. Illuminae was a Christmas present to me from the awesome Jen at Today in Jen's library. And I don't have the book with me here because I left it at home because it's very heavy, and my brother's girlfriend wanted to read it, so she is very careful with books, Jen, so don't worry. But yeah, I read that and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be a little bit different than it was, and there were some aspects of it that I couldn't quite get into, but overall the story was really interesting. I like that it focused in on this one event, and I kind of like when things are sort of looked back on as sort of I keep saying historical documentation and sort of that sort of thing. Project Ito's Harmony was kind of like that, and so many other books, World War Z, etc. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I do think that the formatting was really cool. It's you know, excerpts from reports and commentary on videos and things like that. And I was really, really happy about the last quarter of the book. I very much enjoyed that. That being said, I think that it is sort of like a mixed media book. It's got pictures and, you know, thoughts and reports and things like that, but I think it would have been better if it had been even more mixed. I think a mixture of audio and visual for this one would have been really, I don't know, it would have taken it to the next level. But am I asking too much? Probably yes. It is a book or an audio book. There's not really, we haven't really gotten to that point yet where our books can do all of that stuff. Actually, some of them can, but anyways, I'm rambling too much. I liked it. I think I'm going to give it 3 stars because I really enjoyed it, but I didn't love it, and I didn't really like it, but it was a good read. If you like young adult and if you like AI and a splash of romance, then you will probably enjoy this book. I read Manners and Mutiny by Gail Carriger. It is the final book in the Finishing School series, and it was perfect. It went out just right. Not perfect 5-star book, but solid 4, and it did everything I wanted it to do. It tied up most of the ends that I wanted. I did want to see a little bit more about Dimity and Agatha, but I do like where it ended, and I kind of hope that it sort of left on an ending where I feel like there should be more, but obviously it ended with them finishing, so there's no more finishing school, but I do hope that she follows Sophronia into her new life, doing what she's doing, so I really enjoyed that. My last SF classic for last year, which I actually finished this year, but whatever, it was Solaris by Stanislaw Lem, and I've read a few books by him, and they're sort of hit or miss for me. If you like hard science, then you will like Stanislaw Lem, probably. He writes a lot of hard science theories into his books, and he also works a lot of psychology into them, so his books are kind of like psychological math thrillers, psychological science thrillers. Not really sure, but they're really interesting. This one though was not quite. I think there was just too much math and too much exposition for me that I just couldn't get into it. So I only gave it 2 stars, and yeah, didn't really enjoy it. But that's not going to stop me from trying more of his stuff in the future. I really liked his memoirs in a bathtub, I think it was called. I enjoyed that one. The one before that, I forget what it was. I really did enjoy it. So I don't know, hit or miss, but the last book I finished was Altered Carbon, the first in the Takeshi Kovacs series by Richard Morgan. It is a science fiction thriller, I'd say, with a little bit of looking into psychology and the impact of immortality and technological means, and you know, if you have to live on and you have to occupy bodies that are different from your original body, what sort of impact is that going to have on your mind, that sort of thing, tied with interstellar travel and various things. So the premise is really cool, and I did enjoy the story. I think that some of it was a little too convenient. So Takashi is a envoy. It's someone who is trained, like the military elite, and they are trained to basically be psychopaths and with a team spirit. And he was stacked for crimes that he committed once he had completed his terms as an envoy, but he's pulled out of the stacks, which is where they virtually store your self, to take on a case for a man called Lawrence Bancroft who killed himself, but Lawrence doesn't believe that he did kill himself, so he hires Takeshi to find out who his murderer is, and it follows him as he, investigates the case. So some of the leads are a little bit too convenient. They are instinct or intuition, and I'm not sure how much of that I buy, but it was a kind of a depressing read. It's basically humanity is the scum of the universe, and nothing good can come from what we do, I guess. It's a pretty depraved society. There's definitely a huge divide between the haves and the have-nots, and I don't know. It was really depressing. There's like depraved sex everywhere, and a lot of objectification. There are powerful women in the story, but it doesn't stop them from being sexual objects. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this one. I probably will continue the series, at least one more book, to see what I think of the next book, but I don't know. I think it was also a 3-star for me. So I've got the year started off pretty okay, I think. I started reading since yesterday, History on the 1930s by Frederick Lewis Allen, and I'm excited about that. And I've also started The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. If you saw my resolutions video, then you know that I'm trying to work on my budget. My parents used this book as sort of a jumping off point to get themselves mostly out of debt, and they did really well. So even though there's even though most of the things in the book aren't new to me, it does help to have it all laid out easily for you when you're looking for motivation, and also that sort of camaraderie of the people who have also done the program with you. So I'm hoping that it will help jumpstart me. So we'll see. On Monday, Monday is tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm starting The Mirror Empire with Paul from Common Touch of Fantasy by Cameron Hurley, and I'm really excited to get that started, even if I'm a little daunted, but there we are. So anyway, thanks for sticking with me. This has been a little bit rambly. I had things I wanted to say, and then my focus was just, I don't know where it was going. But yeah, I hope you're having an awesome weekend. Tell me about what you're reading, what your plans are, if you've done anything cool. I want to hear about it. I will be posting a review of Project Ethos Harmony later this week, so you can look forward to that, I guess. And I guess until next time.